Did you know that 80% of people who start a fitness goal on January 1st end up actually quitting by February 1st? And most of them end up actually quitting by January 7th. And I'm not saying that to make anyone feel bad or put anyone down or shame people for just struggling with fitness. Because fitness is really hard, and I 100% get that as someone who used to never work out and now loves lifting. I honestly want nothing more than to help you achieve your fitness goals. And I genuinely think that kettlebells are your secret weapon. So in this video, I want to break down why people end up failing at their fitness journey and how kettlebells can be the exact solution you need to hit all your fitness goals, whether we get in the best shape of your life, get strong, build muscle, gain cardio, build mobility. So yeah, let's just get right into it. So why do people quit fitness? And I think it really boils down to 3 reasons. One of those is time. It just takes a lot of time to get to the gym, get through your workouts, come back, shower, figure out your post-workout meal. And if you're, not, a young person with a bunch of free time, if you have a family, if you have kids, if you have a career, if you have just other obligations, that time is not just something, it's not just an excuse, as a lot of people like to say. Time is a real issue. The second reason is that they simply don't see results fast enough. You're trying to do all these workouts and you're really pumped up, and it just takes a while to see the results that you want. The patience to get there is very disheartening, and I have empathy for that. Third reason that people struggle with their fitness goals and fail at their fitness goals is that they simply get bored. And, I think there's an argument to be made for discipline, and not everything is going to be, the funnest thing ever. But at the same time, I think having, not just white knuckling your way through fitness is important. I think there should be a fun component to the gym and to fitness training. I think life can be very serious and busy, and responsibilities can feel heavy. I think the gym should be a fun place where, you just get to enjoy and play in a way, and work on your body, work on your mind. And so I think if people get bored, I think that's going to end up hurting their chances of, achieving their fitness goals. So what's the solution? You already know it, I've said it a few times, but kettlebells are your secret weapon. Kettlebells are the solution. And so let's tackle those 3 issues with kettlebells directly. So the first one is time. Kettlebells are an insane time saver because they're minimal in time, space, and exercises. So what does that mean? You don't need a gym membership. You don't need to drive to a gym and spend an hour or even longer on a commute to the gym and, changing there and finding all your stations and machines and equipment and waiting for people. You save so much time. I can get an insanely good kettlebell workout in 30 minutes, and honestly, even 20 minutes if I'm really intentional about my workout. So, you go from a 2-hour, there and back commute plus workout to a 20-minute workout. So that's an insane time saver. And then you also don't need that many exercises. A lot of workout programs will have you doing 15, 20, 30 exercises. There are great workout programs with 2 exercises. My workout program has 6 different exercises. That's still super minimal. The second reason kettlebells are your secret weapon is tackling that issue of not seeing results quick enough. So, I'm not going to lie to you and say kettlebells are some magic tool, but in a way, they will help you see results quicker than other forms of training. And let me tell you why. It's because kettlebells help you build all types of fitness. It helps you build strength, muscle, cardio, and mobility. So what you'll find is that if you're just focusing on like a bodybuilding program or just a strength program or just a mobility program, if you're just trying to hit this one goal, and that's going to take a long time. So maybe you're at point A and you want to get to point B in strength or in muscle or mobility. That's going to take some time. What's cool about kettlebells is that it also takes time, but what's awesome is that you build 4 different disciplines of fitness: strength, muscle, cardio, and mobility, all at the same time. So what you'll find is that you might not immediately see crazy results in muscle or crazy results in strength or crazy results in mobility. But what you'll see is decent results pretty quickly in all 4, and seeing all 4 together will help you see the results. So you'll get this feeling of like, yeah, I don't immediately look like a bodybuilder or I'm not super strong, but hey, in just a couple weeks, I actually see a little bit of muscle, a little bit of strength, a little bit of mobility, and a little bit of endurance. And seeing all 4 a little bit, suddenly you're like, whoa, this is actually already changing my life in really significant ways. And I've gotten a bunch of comments on this channel saying the exact same thing, that like people pick up kettlebells and within 2 to 3 weeks, they're already feeling so good. And I think that's because all of these benefits are coming at the exact same time. And so even if one is objectively not as much in a couple of weeks, getting all of those at the same time is incredibly powerful. And you need to see those results to feel good. Like, okay, cool, what I'm doing here is, feeding back into benefits. And so you'll just get that insanely good return, your time on investment coming back with kettlebells. And I think that's really gonna, trust me, if you start with kettlebells, you are gonna see those benefits in just a couple weeks. It's really incredible. And just to be clear, I'm not saying kettlebells only give you a little bit of benefits and all these things. What's crazy is that you'll get those little bit of benefits in like 2 to 3 weeks, but then if you actually stick with kettlebells for like a year or 2 years like I have, then you're actually gonna see the best fitness results of your life. That's when I've seen my strength double to triple. I've seen my gain about 20 to 25 pounds of muscle. I've seen my mobility improve, my back pain go away, my shoulder pain go away. And then I've seen my endurance go through the roof where I can now handle 6, 7, 8 miles hike without doing any form of cardio. So what's crazy is that you'll see a little bit of results very quickly in the first 2 to 3 weeks. And then once you continue for 6 months to a year, your life's going to be totally different. The third and final reason that kettlebells are your secret weapon is that they're so fun. And that's what I talk about. People get bored and they lose interest and it just feels like this chore they have to go to. Kettlebells are really fun because of the full body and dynamic nature. You're not just, doing a very rote point A to point B exercise. You're doing kettlebell clean and presses where you need to think about your whole movement, and it's like a skill. It's like a sport. Clean and, those types of movements are similar to like Olympic lifting. So you got to clean a kettlebell from the ground, press it overhead, get better at that. Then you go for kettlebell carries and you have to get better at not wobbling and like, I want to get to the end of the gym as fast as I can with a 30-pound or 14 kg kettlebell. I want to do, let's see how many clean and presses I can do within the minute, and then I'll take a 30-second rest and then do another. It gets really fun, and then just you're using your full body, so you don't, you can't like be on your phone or kind of be mindless while you're doing your kettlebell training. You kind of got to lock in, but you lock in a fun way where you're like, okay, cool, what can I do with the kettlebells? And then maybe you do your kettlebell swings or kettlebell snatches or kettlebell deadlifts or, so many different exercises, right? Kettlebell squats, and maybe you play around with, I'm going to try the kettlebell squat as a goblet squat, or I'm going to try it as a single rack squat. I'm going to try it as a double rack squat. There's just so many different ways to play around with kettlebells that it just ends up being a lot of fun. For me, it's a hobby in of itself. I know it might sound cliche, but even if I didn't get as many benefits, physically from kettlebells, I just find the actual activity of kettlebells super fun. And that keeps me going, that, not every time am I looking for the best fitness results or everything like that, which funny enough, kettlebells have given me the best fitness results. But what's cool is that even if I didn't get that, I just find so much fun in kettlebells, and that keeps me going. It's a hobby for me. I'd never see myself stopping, because that's like imagining me stopping doing other things I love, like watching movies or playing board games or playing video games. To me, kettlebells are just as fun, if not more fun, than something like playing video games or watching movies, which I also love. So yeah, I just really feel like if you start with kettlebells, it will really change your life. I think it will help if you're, if you're watching this at the end of the new year, at the beginning of the year, and you want to, get your New Year's fitness goals, or maybe there's an event coming up, or whatever it is, like a new life stage, maybe you're going to be a new parent or something like that. I think kettlebells are going to be your secret weapon for this next stage of life for you. And honestly, I'm just really excited for you if you start with kettlebells. So that's my video. I hope you found it helpful. I hope it inspires you to start with kettlebells. And yeah, let me know your thoughts. If you want to check out my 8-week kettlebell program to start your fitness journey, or to just take it to the next level, you can find that in the description below. And if you want to see another video, you can watch one of these 4 here. I guarantee at least one of them will bring you a lot of value. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you for the next one.